You didn't lose your mental strength in one dramatic moment. No breakdown, no failure, no single bad day you can point to and say, that's when it happened. That's the story we like to tell ourselves because it feels cleaner. But the truth is quieter and honestly harder to face. Your strength isn't stolen. It's leaked. Slowly. Daily. In moments so small you've stopped noticing them entirely. That tightness in your chest before you even open your phone. The way you snap at someone you love over nothing. The motivation that used to come easy, now missing without explanation. You've probably blamed stress, or being tired, or just having an off week. But what if none of that is the real cause? What if the truth is hiding inside your normal, ordinary day, in habits so familiar they feel invisible? Stay with me, because once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them. Here's the truth most people never sit with. Mental weakness isn't a personality trait, it's a pattern. And patterns can be seen, which means they can be changed. Most people go their entire lives repeating the same 6 habits, never once questioning them, because no one ever taught them to look. They just accept the fog, the fatigue, the short fuse as who they are. You're not going to be one of them. Not anymore. In the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly what's been draining you, clearly, specifically, without judgment. And once you see it, something shifts. You stop reacting to your own mind and start understanding it. That's where real control begins. That's where quiet strength lives. Habit 1. Most people reach for their phone before their feet even hit the floor. A glance turns into a scroll turns into comparison. Someone else's highlight reel measured against your unfiltered morning. It feels harmless. It isn't. Because attention is a currency, and you're leaking it before you've earned a single conscious thought of your own. That quiet comparison doesn't just steal minutes, it steals your starting point. You begin the day already behind, already less than, before you've done a single real thing. The aware person protects that first hour like it's sacred. No feeds, no filters, no borrowed emotions. Just their own mind, undisturbed, setting the tone instead of absorbing someone else's. Habit 2. Most people say yes when they mean no. Not out of generosity, out of fear. Fear of tension, fear of disappointing someone, fear of being seen as difficult. So they agree, again and again, quietly resenting a life that somehow never feels like their own. Here's what nobody tells you. Every forced yes is a small betrayal of yourself, and those betrayals compound. They don't feel dangerous in the moment. They feel polite. But politeness built on self-erasure has a cost, and that cost is your energy, your identity, your peace. The aware person has learned something most people never do, that a calm no protects relationships better than a resentful yes ever could. They're not colder, they're clearer. And clarity, it turns out, is its own kind of strength. The quiet, unshakable kind that doesn't need to raise its voice to be respected. Habit 3. Most people confuse venting with healing. They replay the argument, the disappointment, the slight, telling the story to anyone who'll listen, not to understand it, but to relive it. It feels like release. It isn't. Venting without reflection doesn't empty the wound. It reopens it again and again until the story becomes part of your identity instead of something that simply happened to you. Have you noticed how the same complaint keeps showing up in different words month after month? That's not coincidence. That's an emotion you never actually processed, just repeated. The aware person still feels the pain. They're not numb, they're not pretending, but they sit with it long enough to ask what it's teaching them, instead of just performing it for an audience. Habit 4. Most people cannot sit in silence. The second a gap opens, a quiet car ride, a line at the store, a moment before sleep, it gets filled. A podcast, a video, a scroll, anything to keep the noise going. You felt this. That low hum of discomfort, the instant nothing is happening. Here's what that noise is actually doing. It's not entertaining you. It's avoiding you. Every filled silence is a conversation with yourself postponed one more time. And the longer you postpone it, the louder your own mind gets when it finally catches up to you. The aware person lets the silence breathe. They've learned that discomfort isn't danger. It's just an unfamiliar room they haven't spent enough time in yet.
These last two are the ones that slip past even the sharpest, most self-aware people because they don't look like weakness. They look like productivity. They look like growth. Habit 5. Most people wear multitasking like a badge of honor. 5 tabs open, 3 conversations running, a task list touched but never finished. It feels efficient. It's the opposite. Every switch between tasks costs you focus you don't get back. And over weeks, over months, that fractured attention becomes your default state. A mind that can start anything but finish nothing. Always half present. Never fully anywhere. That's not multitasking. That's erosion, dressed up as ambition.
The aware person does less, on purpose. One thing, completed before the next begins. Not because they're slower, because they understand that finishing is what rebuilds trust in your own mind. Habit 6. Most people don't learn from their mistakes. They relive them. The same regret, replayed at 2 a.m., in the shower, mid-conversation, pulled up on a loop that never resolves anything, never changes anything. It masquerades as reflection. It's actually punishment. Ask yourself, has replaying it ever once changed the outcome? Every mistake carries exactly one lesson. Extract it once, and it's done its job. The aware person learns, then closes the loop. Not from denial, from respect for their own future. Because a mind that keeps punishing itself for the past has none left to build the version of you still waiting on the other side.
Here's the part most people miss entirely. Those 6 habits were never 6 separate problems. That's just how they show up on the surface. Underneath, they're all the same thing wearing different disguises. Reactivity. Reaching for your phone, saying yes out of fear, venting on repeat, filling silence, splitting your focus, replaying regret. Every single one is your mind reacting to discomfort instead of choosing a response. That's it. That's the whole pattern, which means you don't need 6 different fixes, 6 new routines, 6 things to remember. You need one shift, the pause between feeling and reacting, the space where awareness lives. Once you see that, you stop managing 6 habits and start managing one root cause. That's not just simpler. It's the difference between patching leaks forever and finally turning off the tap. So let's stop talking about the aware person like they're someone separate from you, because they're not. They're just you, minus the noise. You don't need less stress. You need less leakage. You don't need a bigger willpower, a stricter routine, or another list of rules to white-knuckle through. You need to notice, really notice, the small moments where your strength quietly slips out the door, and choose, just once, to close it. That's all this ever was. Not a personality flaw, not something broken in you. Just habits, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be seen. Most people will watch this, nod, and go right back to the scroll. The forced yes, the noise. That's not a judgment. It's just what happens when awareness isn't acted on. But you're not most people. Not anymore. You already see it now. And the moment you see it, you can't fully unsee it. That's not pressure. That's the quiet beginning of control. If even one of these 6 hit close to home, comment aware below. Let's see how many of us caught this before it cost us more. And if you want the rest of this work, the deeper patterns most people never uncover, subscribe. Not to follow a channel, to join the few who chose to see clearly.